Good morning, Dubai. How are you doing? Welcome back to the Lovin Daily. I hope you had an absolutely brilliant long weekend. And how are you feeling this morning as we go into a new week? But I feel like it's easy street-ish for anyone that has winter holidays coming up. Schools are off for 2 weeks a little bit. I have a 2 week break in a little bit, so I can celebrate. Ali's just like, no. How did you all get on over the long weekend? Today we're going to be taking you through the top stories as always. Also later on in the show we have Miss Universe 2015, Miss Pia Wurtzbach. I had an interview with her over the weekend. We're talking to her about the Steve Harvey moment. So if you remember, she was the Miss Universe who was mistitled. So someone else was actually announced as a winner before Pia. And
yeah, I remember that mix-up that they had.
there was a mix-up by Steve Harvey on it was like the finals, three pageant queens waiting to be announced. He announces Colombia, and then for 30 seconds, she's doing her wave. He walks off stage, and then you see him like doing a very awkward, meek shuffle back onto stage. And then the announcement just comes out. He's like, sorry. And it's so clearly not planned because he doesn't even know what to say. And then her eyes are deer in headlights when they're like, there's been a mistake. It's Miss Philippines. And she's only one of 4 Miss Philippines to ever win the Miss Universe title. She is a very loved queen around the world, and especially here in the UAE. Whenever she comes to Dubai, our audience goes wild for whatever she's doing. So we spoke to her this weekend, which is pretty cool. And we're also going to be talking about COVID test prices have dropped in Abu Dhabi, and we're hoping to see the same in Dubai quickly. But first, I want to run you through our top story, which was a tweet from His Highness ruler of Dubai last night, and he said, Dubai and the UAE will be the fastest country in the world to recover from COVID-19. So this is a quote from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. He tweeted, the UAE will be the fastest country in the world to recover. He was speaking ahead of GITEX technology, which begins today, which is pretty cool, which is, as we know, a massive event which people are really excited about. It's the 40th GITEX Technology Week to take place ever. It's happening in Dubai World Trade Center from today until the 10th. And it's kind of what it is. It kind of showcases a really diverse mix of technology industry. There'll be 1,200 exhibitors, including 300 startups from over 60 countries. So the fact that it's going ahead with a lot of health and safety precautions in place is amazing. And His Highness was kind of tweeting. It was this tweet, I think there's 2 of them, brimming with positivity. Which I think is really nice for everyone to see. He kind of said, we'll conclude 2020 with a global event and we'll start 2021 with a series of projects and major initiatives. 2021 will be our 50th year and golden jubilee, and it will be different from all years. Exciting. But isn't this what the 49th year, which you've just celebrated, was all about planning ahead? That's what the theme of this year was. It was looking ahead for the next 50 years. So next year will be the golden jubilee. We're really excited about that. And His Highness also said GITEX will be the most important technology event in 2020. The UAE will be the fastest country in the world to recover. He's talking about COVID-19. And our institutions have proven their ability to adapt. What did you just say?
Was that me?
Oh, I just thought I heard a really tiny yay. But it's quite big news, and also the fact that GITEX is going ahead. If you want to get down there, by the way, it's like I said, it's a Dubai World Trade Center. You can, but you must get your registration in advance. So unlike other years when people can go and get their registrations on the day and get your tickets, you can't do that this year, which I suppose is commendable because we don't want too many people down there queuing, because it obviously is a very, very exciting event to be at. But what you can do is register online in advance. But this is, do you know much about GITEX? Have you ever been down there?
No, not really.
It's kind of I recognize it as, I've never been down, but I recognize it as every year it's all about future tech. So we get some really cool videos of like police robots and basically like, let's say what Dubai police are doing and what Etisalat are doing and what Do are doing and what RTA are doing. So if, let's say, for example, the RTA are working on so much cool stuff, but like the Hyperloop and the flying taxis, all of that new technology gets kind of released in drip drops information to us from GITEX.
Whoa.
So you may not even know you're reading about GITEX, but you'll know that we'll be hearing a lot of kind of future plans over the next 4 days, 5 days, and it all comes from GITEX, which is really, really cool. But we'll move on to our next story. We're also talking about COVID as usual. Quick rundown of the numbers. New cases are kind of they're staying about the 1,200 mark. So in the last 24 hours, there's been 1,214 new cases. Recovery stand at 670. Total deaths in the UAE now stand at 589. Total recoveries in the UAE COVID-19 158,498, and the total confirmed cases in the UAE stand at 175,276. And as we know, to get into Abu Dhabi still stands, the rule still stands, you need a negative COVID test to enter. And now tests within the capital have dropped to 85 dirham, which is very cheap. This is talking, especially if you, other countries, like it's still so expensive to get a test. And because of lack of testing, lack of sufficient testing in hospitals, it makes COVID a lot trickier to track. You see numbers going up. In our case, it's a lot cheaper to get them, and now they're dropping again in the capital. So nose swabs at all Abu Dhabi Seha health clinics have been reduced to 85 dirham effective immediately. So if you go to a Seha clinic in Abu Dhabi, you're only going to pay 85 dirham. And what's cool is the last time they dropped the price of tests in Abu Dhabi, it was shortly followed within the next couple of weeks by Dubai Health Authority, who dropped the price to 150 dirham in all Dubai health clinics, Dubai Health Authority clinics. So at the moment in Dubai, you're paying 150 dirham. Abu Dhabi, in the authority health clinics in Abu Dhabi, you're paying 85. Hopefully we'll see the number reduce again. But even 150, if you're getting your results in 24 hours, the fact that you can do drive-through tests at the moment is incredible. Alibaba still hasn't gotten one. Not that you should, I'm just saying you just haven't. But I feel a lot of people, whether you have different reasons, a couple of people could have like 5 or 6. And testing, we know there's been over 10 million tests done in the UAE, which is higher than the population. We're one of the highest countries in the world for testing. We have Dubai ruler telling us that we're going to be the fastest country to recover. And it's all these little things that I think that it's not just saying we're going to be the fastest to recover. There's a lot of innovative things going on in all walks of COVID. We have the Sinopharm vaccine was approved 2 months ago for emergency use for healthline workers. We've seen just in the UK, they've just approved, it's a different vaccine for emergency, but we've kind of been ahead with that. Effective testing that's cheap and getting cheaper. That shows that they're trying to roll it out easily for everyone to gain access to. I think it's just amazing. So starting the week on a positive note, we'll move on to our next story. His Highness Sheikh Hamdan has taken a video from the top, of the Burj Khalifa. I was going to say the World Khalifa. Anyway,
kind of is at the top of the world.
Yeah, it is. It's the top. I can't imagine he climbed there. I'm sure he took a lift. But so if you're going to the Burj Khalifa, it's 828 meters high. It's the tallest building in the world. And if you and me are going, we'll either go to at the top deck. Have you ever been up there?
Nah, I've never been to Burj Khalifa.
You've seen it. You've seen it.
I've seen it, but I haven't been inside it.
We've all seen it. I've never been to at the top, but usually when I have visitors, I go to Atmosphere, which is the bar 1 floor below. But even then, there's still, I don't know exactly how much, you're still not at the very top. So His Highness last night, or I'm not sure if it was last night, but he scaled to the very top. So at the very top, you can see he's arched his video down and he looks up at the moon. The last person I saw do this, was it Tom Cruise? He got quite high up when there was a Mission Impossible video.
I think so. He always does the stunts.
So he was doing a stunt for Mission Impossible years ago, and he did it here. But His Highness, I couldn't do that. I'm sure he is strapped in, and it's super safe. But to go to even watching the video, I just feel a little bit like.
No.
Could you do it?
No. 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 I would happily stay on the ground, just where gravity is. But
where you're safe, even halfway up though, to get the view, because even halfway up, you're still higher than most buildings. How high is the Javora?
I'm afraid of heights, so that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we're not going to do a show from up there.
No.
So the tallest hotel in the world is the Gavora, which is if you see the downtown skyline at night, it's got that really interesting gold tip with you won't miss it. And that's 358 meters to the very tip. And then you have the Burj Khalifa, which is 828 meters. So it's so much higher. So even if you go halfway up the Burj Khalifa, you'll still be above the majority of the city. So well done to His Highness. But it takes, what did you say before the show? It takes
heart with courage.
Takes courage.
Courage.
Not for everyone. But what a cool video. If you want to check it out, it's on our Instagram feed right now. Before we go on to our interview, I want to let you know very quickly the Lovin Dubai Advent Calendar has begun. It's 24 days of big prizes, and we are so excited about it this year. So we've been doing this every year for a couple of years. If you have an Advent calendar at home, I have one. I have two, which is really exciting. So every morning, I actually forgot it this morning, but you have 24 days of little chocolates or whatever it might be to open it up. Lovin Dubai know that every year we do prizes. Every day, we run prizes on our Instagram. They get a lot of we get a lot of engagement. We get a lot of people entering them. So now for Advent calendar, we have one every single day for 24 days in the lead up to Christmas. And what we've done is we've partnered with our favorite locations, our favorite venues across the city to give away something that they're doing for Christmas, whatever it might be, or whatever they're giving away. So if you go on, I think the easiest way for you to keep track of it is basically if you download our app, which is free, by the way, download our app, and then you can just click onto all the Advent calendar prizes, or if you just go onto our website, and I'm going to open up. So I'll just show you what it looks like to make it. It's just an article, and there's a form within the article every single day. So yesterday we had win tickets for the entire family to Museum of Illusions, and then you just have to enter the form, which is on the website. And we have heaps of prizes. The first one that went live was festive brunch. There's going to be a lot of brunches. There's going to be like a lot of Christmassy related things that people are giving away. And it's just, I think I'd love to win a big prize right now. Yeah, yesterday was, and the last 2 days, so every 3 days we announce the winner. So on day 4, it was win a London social festive brunch for 2 worth 990 dirham at the Ritz-Carlton, no less. The day before, it was win brunch for 2 at the Vivacious Brunch at Vivaldi Restaurant and Lounge, which looks and sounds very fancy. And then also for pet parents, this is really cool. You could win a Lily's Kitchen 500 dirham Christmas hamper, and that's at the pet shop. So they have loads of Christmas presents for your cats and dogs.
Ooh.
They have advent calendars for your pets.
Wow.
I didn't get one for Goose, which is going to be so gross. But no, if I was down there, I'd be getting it for her because I think that's so cute. And then, like I mentioned, we had one at Trader Vic. So every single day, I'll leave it there. The best way to do it is if you have the app on your phone, the Lovin Dubai app. It's Lovin, it's free, and you just click it, and then you'll have easy access to all of them. And also we announce the competition on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube as well every day at 10 a.m. But if you don't want to keep track at 10 a.m., if you don't want to set an alarm, I would just download the app and you'll get it there. That is it about Lovin Advent prizes. What more do you want? But now we're going to go straight into our interview with Miss Universe 2015, Pia Wurtzbach. She's in Dubai. She's doing photo shoots. She's looking amazing. And we talked to her about her Steve Harvey moment. We also talked to her about, she has 11 million followers. So I asked her, is she opening her DMs? I asked her how she's dealing with the media when media kind of try and, let's say, break into your private life a little bit. I asked her how she deals with that, which is very interesting because that's what the media are trying to do. But that is it, guys, for us on the Lovin Daily. Have a brilliant day, and I hope you enjoy the interview. Bye-bye. Guys, we are back on the Lovin Daily, and we are joined by the one, the only Pia Wurtzbach. Welcome to Dubai, and welcome to the Lovin Daily.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's good to be back in Dubai.
Well, you have such a huge fan base here, such a huge following, and you've just arrived in Dubai. Quick question, what's it actually like traveling right now?
Well, I've traveled a few times this year already. I traveled to London and then Greece earlier this year. Oh, well, actually just a few months ago. So I kind of have some experience already in traveling during this time. It's actually not as bad as people think it is. I mean, as long as you're keeping yourself safe and then you have all the necessary requirements in order to be able to travel, then you'll have no problem getting on a flight. So,
Sure.
So it was pretty easy for me to come to Dubai because I've already been to London and Greece, and we just have to follow health protocols and all the requirements. So yeah, it was easy for me. I didn't have any hesitations of coming here. I know that Dubai is taking the COVID situation very seriously.
And especially 100% Dubai is at the forefront of that. But as a famous face, I'm just wondering, will fans still want to come up to you during COVID? Is it difficult if people want to take a photo or if they want a selfie? How do you navigate that now, traveling or just out on the streets?
So now I'm always wearing a mask. So even when somebody asks for a picture in public, I don't remove it, and they understand. They know that it wouldn't be safe for me to take off my mask, even though normally you would have your full face in the photo. Also, like, we try to keep a safe distance from each other, so we don't like really be close. So we follow the health protocols. Um, I've had some pictures taken already with some fans this morning, and they know the health protocols. They know the rules, so we just have to follow them. So it hasn't been a problem. Um, yeah, so it's been okay.
Okay, and just a bit of background for our audience, and I'm sure people talk about this in every interview that you do, but of course, Pia won Miss Universe in 2015. You've been only one of 4 Pinoys to do it, which is incredible. Your crowning moment made worldwide news, of course, when Steve Harvey announced the wrong winner ahead of you, and for 28 seconds, you were first runner-up. Just to give us an insight, can you remember what it felt? Because we've all seen that video. It's been seen billions of times. Your eyes were just like, can you remember what that moment felt like when they announced that there was a mistake?
Yeah, I mean, I was confused. I've watched Miss Universe so many times in the past. I would watch the previous pageants over and over, and never did they make a mistake like that. So, of course, I thought that it was a prank or a joke, or, like, I didn't know how to react at that moment. Because honestly, I was also feeling bad for Miss Colombia, because I've lost pageants before. I've lost pageants in the past, and I know how it feels, but it doesn't compare to how she felt at that time, because initially thinking that you're the winner and apparently you're not. And so now you have to take it off and pass it on to somebody else. When, like me, she's also worked very hard to get there and to win. And she was also going for a back-to-back win, because the winner the previous year was also from Colombia. So a lot of pressure coming from her. I couldn't go into full celebratory mode, knowing that she was heartbroken. Like, how can you? How can you? So I had my moment backstage instead. That's where it all synced in, and then. But yeah, I did feel very confused, because it's never happened before.
Of course. Well, you handle it very gracefully, very beautifully. So congratulations. Obviously, you have a massive following here in Dubai. So we asked our audience if they had any questions for you. And the first comment that came through was, I'll only say a word, she's a true queen. Because since Miss Universe, you've become a Worldwide Fund for Nature ambassador. You're working with AIDS awareness, cyberbullying, disaster relief in Philippines. You've done so much. And my question is, what motivates you to continue working as a role model, and ultimately being a role model to so many young women? Where is your motivation? Because you're doing a lot.
It just gives me a lot of fulfillment, because a lot of my work involves being in shoots, being in front of the camera, being glammed up, looking pretty. But I mean, while all of that is nice, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity, but after a while, you kind of look for something a bit more, right? Like something that actually gives back, that gives you a sense of purpose. It's always such a nice feeling, and that's why I encourage everybody to try to volunteer, to do just even a little bit, and see how it makes you feel, because it just makes you feel so good after, knowing that you've in your small way, knowing that you've helped or raised awareness for something, or at least stood up for something that you believe in. I also think that it would be such a waste if I just let go of these opportunities just because I already finished my reign as Miss Universe. It opened so many doors for me, and I was invited by these big organizations, UNAIDS and WWF, and they don't just approach anybody. So, I mean, how can you say no? I felt like it was an honor for me to be asked, and so I took the opportunity anyway, because I'm really not the type to just drop everything just because I already got the crown or I already finished my reign. Doesn't mean that I've forgotten about the kind of opportunities it's given me. I don't want to waste it, so I do continue it, but also it feels really good to just help. It's really nice, especially about on causes that you like truly believe in. It doesn't feel like work at all.
Good. Thank you. And your personal story from pre-Miss Universe days is truly incredible. People may or may not know that, you know, you came from a family with a single working mother. From the age of 11, you were helping your family, help providing income with your modeling and through your acting. So then as you continue in your career, would you recommend pageanting to young girls? Would you recommend kind of the Miss Universe title to young girls?
I mean, it depends on how young we're talking about. I always suggest to women who want to compete or who want to become a Miss Universe or a beauty queen to experience life first. Don't rush into it. I always say, finish your schooling first, do some odd jobs here and there, get your heart broken, like live life first, you know, like gain all these life experiences because you want to compete as a woman of experience, of life experience, of stories to tell. You don't want to be standing there and not have something to share with an audience. If you have a story that resonates, that makes you relatable, that connects to the audience, then you're the one. You know, you want to be able to share something aside from looking pretty. So that's my advice to anybody who wants to compete. Don't rush into it. Just finish everything you have to finish in real life first, because trust me, once you get into it, you'll be addicted to it because it's a really life-changing opportunity. But you know, experience life first and then compete. That's my advice.
Interesting. And it's really interesting that you mentioned heartbreak there, because like I said, we asked people to share. I could show you our DMs. We got so many questions for you, and people are interested in your private life because they're asking questions, you know, about your relationships, and they're asking questions about maybe a fight with your sister, a public one. I don't want to ask you about those, but I want to ask you, when is the media, how far is too far when it comes to talking about your private life? Because I know there's been a lot of conversations about a fight recently with your sister, and how much is too much?
Well, with regards to family matters, I've already asked, like in my post a few months, I think it was a few weeks ago already, just to like, you know, family matters should be kept private.
Yeah.
And that we're dealing with the situation as a family privately already. So, but yeah, but it's just a part of the job, I guess. I mean, people will always want to know, will always want to ask. I try to be accommodating as much as I can, but I also want to respect the privacy of other people, of people who don't necessarily want, you know, to talk about it all the time. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to talk about other things, but I think with regards to that, we'll just keep it private for now.
Yeah, 100. I think what you're saying is, I think family matters are private, your personal life is private, and then everything else is out in the open, and that's part of the job. So that's interesting. With regards to your social media following, you have 11 million followers on Instagram, and I'm sure many more on other platforms. Do you ever even get a chance? You must be so busy. Do you get a chance to look at your DMs? Do you ever get a chance to open them?
I try to open my DMs and have a look at them myself every once in a while. Of course, I'm not able to do that like literally every day, but I do manage my own social media accounts. I get help once in a while, but I do most of the managing myself. I post the pictures myself. I take the pictures myself. I write the captions. Yeah, and I also reply to comments because you know, I want to be able to connect. I want to be able to talk to people, and if they have an interesting or a funny comment, you know, I'll reply back. Keep things interesting, because I know beauty queens in the Philippines. We love beauty pageants, and we put beauty queens in such a a pedestal that they're almost too high to reach. But I don't want to be like that. Like I want to be very like relatable and approachable. That's the word, approachable to people. So I do try to reply whenever I can.
That's really nice. And we have another question from one of our fans, and it's, what advice do you give to women? Sorry for my dog. What advice do you give to women to stay confident?
Okay. To stay confident, I mean, there are days where you're not going to feel confident all the time, and that applies even to me. There are days where I don't feel like 100%, but confidence really comes from inside if you're happy with yourself. So you have to just keep working on yourself, acknowledge and know that there are days where it's not going to be perfect all the time, and that's perfectly fine too. But then I think confidence know happens when you know exactly really what you want, and 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 then that you know that you're happy, because you could, like, from the outside you could look like the perfect person who's smiling, who's got everything going for her, who's like has all of these opportunities, but if you're not like truly happy, like, you'll be able to tell. So I think working on the inside first, and then that's, you know,
And then
and then yes.
thank you. And with regards, so as well as your humanitarian work, I know that you're working on a book, a chiclet, which I love chiclets, so I'm excited to read it. You're shooting a movie, you have a lipstick collaboration, you have a bestie business with your friends. Where does, in terms of business, where does your passion lie?
Oh wow! I have a real interest in beauty, in makeup, in fashion. I love that. I love that space. I mean, it just comes naturally to me. I have a real interest in beauty, but also that's why I've collaborated with a um, makeup brand, makeup line in the Philippines called Tevian. That also, by the way, sells here in Dubai. They have a Arabic website. So and then just after Miss Universe, I've been more interested in what other things I could do, because I didn't want to limit myself to just being a beauty queen. I wanted to, learn something new again, learn, like, be an underdog again, like, learn something, like, be getting into entrepreneurship. So that's why I've been trying my hand at it by slowly gaining experience, like what we did with the milk tea business. We're planning to have more branches franchised, and then with the makeup collaboration that I'm doing, and the book. So I mean, I know these are, like, a book is different from makeup, from milk tea, from this and that, like, they're all very different, but that's the thing. I just want to try everything and see how it works for me. I mean, I don't know if everything will work. I don't know if everything will be a perfect fit, but at least I'm learning from all of them.
Amazing. Well, you're very, very busy. And before we leave you, I think everyone's looking forward to 2021, new year. Do you have a game plan, or what can we look forward to from you in 2021?
I'm so excited to all of the projects that got, put on hold, that got postponed, for them to push through and continue on for next year. I'm excited to travel more next year. I'm excited to just get back at it. I feel like 2020 was like a break for all of us, but then it's time to work again and to continue the work we've done again for the next year. I'm excited. It's only a month now until 2021, but I'm really optimistic that next year will be very different, hopefully.
I believe we all are. Well, that's it, to end it on an optimistic note. Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Daily. Pia, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And guys, we'll see
Thank
you
you so
tomorrow.
much.
Not at all. Bye-bye.